Vinai, here we are on the eve of another new season, and confidence must be high after the fantastic end to the last one. What are the club's ambitions for 2020-21?
Well, listen, I guess if we look at our ambitions more generally, I guess first and foremost, we need to get this football club back in the Champions League. We are a Champions League club, that's where we belong, and that's where we need to get back. But also, we need to use that as a stepping stone, because that can't be the final destination. We need to get back in the mix competing for the Premier League title. But also, because we're Arsenal, we need to do that playing a entertaining, exciting style of football. That's what our fans expect and that's what our fans demand. But also we need to acknowledge and continue to follow the traditions of this great football club. So that is giving young players a chance and getting the right mix between young players and experienced players. So those really are our ambitions going forward. It's not going to be straightforward. It's not going to be easy. We are in the most competitive league on the planet, and there's lots and lots of other strong clubs in this league. But we need to fight and we need to get back to where we need to get to, because if you're Arsenal Football Club, those have to be your ambitions.
There's lots of challenges all around for everybody at the moment, not just football. But how are Arsenal adapting as a club to these strange circumstances we're under at the moment?
There's been a phenomenal amount of change, but the thing I'm really proud of is that we just have not skipped a beat. Thanks to the diligence and the work of the great staff that we have at Arsenal, we really haven't missed a beat. The thing we are really missing, of course, is fans back in the stadium. What is obvious is fans are the absolute critical ingredient of what makes a football club work. And unfortunately, when you haven't got the fans in the stadium, you see that. So we're all looking forward to the first game away at Fulham this Saturday. The sun's going to be shining. It's a game that the fans are normally looking forward to, in particular, going to Fulham. And it's not going to be the same, because we're going to be in the stadium with tens of people rather than tens of thousands of people, and that's something that we're desperate to solve as soon as possible. Find a way to get fans back into the stadium where we want them and they want to be.
And when the fans can come back, they're going to look at an exciting team. Hopefully, we've seen some additions already this summer. First of all, how pleased are you with what the club have managed to do in the transfer market so far?
So I think we started very well, to be fair. When we signed Willian, so straight away. It's a so exciting player, so everybody know the players, everybody know how Willian can be inside of the squad, so we're excited for that. Of course, after that we get a Gabriel, which is here as well, so everybody's so exciting and everybody's so happy, and he's happy as well to enjoy Arsenal. And then we have Dani Ceballos, and then people cannot forget, because you signed Saliba as well, so he's here to enjoy and start the season again. So when I talk to Miguel about the squad, so we are, of course, we increase quality, we increase experience in the squad as well, so we are much stronger. So we feel comfortable, we feel stronger, and we're looking forward to start.
It's still nearly a month to go until the deadline. Can we expect to see some more movement perhaps?
Yeah, now if you see the market right now, it's quite quiet. It's not much clubs expend a lot of money, because everybody has some doubts about what's going on in the short period and the long period as well. So we have to be patient in that period to see if we can do some movement internally as well. So be clever, be patient. We have 3 weeks more to go. So, and then from that, we're working, we prepare to do everything. And if something happens, of course, we're going to do our movement as well.
Vinai, can I ask you about off the pitch now, and some changes maybe in the structure of the club? Can you just bring us up to speed in how the management structure works at the moment at Arsenal?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right to say there's been some changes at the club. So going forward, I am going to be responsible for overseeing the club both on and off the pitch as Chief Executive Officer. And that's how things are going to work going forward. Of course, I'll be working really, really closely with the board and really, really closely with the owners in that position. And I'd like to talk a little bit about how we're organising ourselves on the pitch, on the football side. So we're going to have Per Mertesacker heading up the academy, and then Edu and Mikel working together to head up the first team operation. And I'm really fortunate to have such a fantastic team. So if you think about Edu, you think about Mikel, you think about Per, those are three individuals that are winners. They're driven to succeed, and they've got Arsenal absolutely at their heart. We've got two club captains and an invincible. But I'd like to talk a little bit more about Mikel. Mikel's been here since the end of December, and the last 9 months at Arsenal have probably been the most challenging 9 months in Arsenal's history. and we've been around for 134 years. And despite all of those challenges, Mikel has been driving this football club forward. He has lifted the spirits and lifted the energy here at London Colney and with Arsenal fans all across the world, and he is doing an absolutely phenomenal job. The other thing that's clear is right from the day he walked into the door, he was doing much more than being our head coach. So we're going to be changing his job title going forward. He'll move from head coach to be the first team manager, and that's recognition of what he's been doing from the day he worked on the door, but also where we see his capabilities. He is doing a great job, of course, of coaching the first team, and that's his primary responsibility, but there's so much more that he can bring, and that's why we're making this change. A recognition of his capabilities and also the job that he's doing already. So in terms of how that will work is going forward, Mikel will join a really strong team with Edu. They'll be working really closely together to manage all the other elements of our football operations that are so important. So whether that is analysis, recruitment, high performance, medical, they'll be looking after those areas together. And they'll also together be responsible for our technical recommendations, whether that's players that we're going to buy, whether that's players we're going to sell, whether that's players that we're going to loan. Of course, working closely with me and working closely with the board and working closely with the owners on the financial elements to make final decisions. But those are going to be their responsibilities going forward, and I think we're going to have a really dynamic team going forward to drive this club forward.
Mikel is someone obviously you know very well as a player, and now working with him as a manager. How would you see that relationship working between technical director and manager?
Very simple. I can tell you how we started, because I think it's important people understand. Since he started and joined the club, my connection with Mikel starts like this, straight away, because the mentality, the way he looks football, the way I look football, the way he wants to drive London Colney, so we have the simple and similar ideas. So for this part, when you start together and you started to create a relationship in the daily basis, so we see even more how connected we was. So we don't force anything, we just been talking and discussing about club, about future, squad, balance, players, signings, and we see the connection there. So this is so important for the club to have a manager right now and a technical director working together, because he has to see internally in the field what's happening, and sometimes I have to see externally what's happening outside the club, and then both together has to sit and then discuss, talk, be clear, be open to each other to make the best decisions possible. So that's the way the club wants to do, that's the way I really believe we can do, and I'm really comfortable and very happy to work with Mikel.
And I guess from my side, it's a pleasure seeing that Mikel and Edu and how they work together. There's an amazing chemistry between them. I think they see football and life in a really similar way. That shouldn't be confused for the fact that they always agree. There's times that they will disagree, but that's healthy because they need to challenge each other to be the best that they can possibly be. But there's an amazing connection between Mikel and Edu, and that's one of the reasons I'm so confident going forward.
Just finally, it's been summer of upheaval, of work, of development, of change. You just must be excited now for the season to start, aren't you? You just want to get back to playing football, what we love.
Yeah, listen, absolutely. Just can't wait to get back playing football. I would say it does feel like only yesterday that last season finished, so it doesn't feel like it's been a big gap, but really looking forward to the season restarting. Listen, as I said earlier, I do think the critical ingredient is missing, having fans in the stadium. And, I really am looking forward to tomorrow, but I also know it's not going to be the same without fans in the stadium. But of course, I'm looking forward to getting back playing and getting back with the Premier League.
And Edu, how optimistic are you ahead of the new season?
So to be in this club, of course, you have to be like this. You have to be looking forward, be happy, be comfortable, be confident, and move forward.